Have you ever wondered about the reign of Egypt's first female pharaoh, Hatshepsut, and the impact she had on Egypt? Hatshepsut, born into royalty, was the daughter of Pharaoh Thutmose I. She was taught the politics of court life from an early age. Despite societal norms, she was destined to impact Egypt's future. Life changed when she married her half-brother, Thutmose II, and became his great royal wife. After his death, his son Thutmose III ascended to the throne, but he was too young, leading to Hatshepsut being his regent. She was to relinquish this role once Thutmose III matured, but she had other plans. In an extraordinary move, she declared herself pharaoh, not just a regent, and co-ruled with her stepson. This audacious move shook Egyptian society. Nonetheless, her reign marked an era of prosperity. She proved to be a competent ruler, ushering in economic growth and initiating ambitious projects. Her leadership brought about peace and stability. And so, Hatshepsut, a woman in a man's world, began her reign, which was to become one of the most prosperous in ancient Egypt. Hatshepsut's reign was a time of great prosperity and growth for Egypt, but how did she achieve this? Let's take a closer look. Hatshepsut's accomplishments were many, but one of the most significant was her focus on economic growth. She realized that trade, not war, was the true path to wealth and prosperity. To this end, she organized numerous trade expeditions, the most famous being the expedition to the far-off exotic land of Punt. This voyage, laden with treasures of gold, ebony, and exotic animals, was so successful that it was commemorated in the reliefs of her mortuary temple. These expeditions not only brought wealth into Egypt, but also fostered relationships with other nations and established Egypt as a dominant trading power. Now let's shift our focus to Hatshepsut's architectural accomplishments. She was a prolific builder, commissioning hundreds of construction projects throughout Egypt. These ranged from the restoration of old structures damaged by previous conflicts, to the construction of new temples and obelisks. However, her crowning achievement was undoubtedly her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari. This grand structure, nestled into the cliffs above the Nile, was a masterpiece of architecture and design. With its terraced courtyards, colonnaded halls, and intricate reliefs, it was a testament to Hatshepsut's vision and the skill of her architects. But beyond the physical structures, these projects served another purpose. They provided employment for the people of Egypt, bolstering the economy and ensuring a steady flow of wealth into the royal coffers. Through these projects, Hatshepsut left an indelible mark on Egypt's landscape, a testament to her reign that can still be seen and admired today. In conclusion, Hatshepsut's reign was characterized by economic growth, architectural innovation, and a focus on peaceful trade over warfare. She showed that a woman could rule as effectively as any man, and in doing so, she set a precedent for future female leaders. With her wise rule, Hatshepsut ushered in a period of peace and prosperity, making her reign a golden age for Egypt. Being a female pharaoh in a patriarchal society was no easy feat. How did Hatshepsut navigate this? Hatshepsut, Egypt's female pharaoh, found herself in a position of power in a world where men had traditionally ruled. The challenges she faced were monumental, yet she met them with a keen sense of strategy and an unwavering resolve. Her first challenge was to establish legitimacy. In ancient Egypt, pharaohs were perceived as divine, and the divine was intrinsically male. Hatshepsut's solution to this was ingenious. She chose to represent herself in a masculine form, in statuary and inscriptions. This wasn't an attempt to deceive, but rather a strategic move to align herself with the traditional image of a pharaoh. She often appeared with a male body, wearing the pharaoh's kilt and false beard, symbols of pharaonic power. But the masculine representation was not enough. Hatshepsut needed to legitimize her rule in the eyes of the people and the nobility. She claimed her rule was ordained by the gods themselves, asserting that her father, Thutmose I, had named her his successor. She also tactfully reminded the people of her royal bloodline, as she was both the daughter and wife of a king. Support from key officials was crucial in maintaining her position. Hatshepsut surrounded herself with loyal advisors and officials. One such person was Senenmut, a man of humble origins who rose to become one of the most powerful people in Egypt, thanks to Hatshepsut's patronage. His loyalty to Hatshepsut was unwavering, and he played a key role in helping her navigate the treacherous waters of pharaonic politics. Despite the challenges, Hatshepsut's rule was a period of prosperity and architectural advancement. She proved that a woman could rule as effectively as a man, even in a society steeped in patriarchy. Hatshepsut's clever tactics not only secured her rule but also left an indelible mark on Egypt's history. Hatshepsut's reign ended as mysteriously as it began, but what happened after her death? Let's delve into this intriguing chapter of her story. After a prosperous reign of nearly 22 years, Hatshepsut vanished from Egypt's historical records. The circumstances of her death remain shrouded in mystery. Some say she passed peacefully, others whisper of palace conspiracies. Her mummy was discovered in the early 20th century, but it offered no clear answers to her sudden disappearance. In the aftermath of Hatshepsut's reign, her co-regent Thutmose III ascended to the throne. He, or perhaps his son Thutmose IV, embarked on a systematic campaign to erase Hatshepsut's name and images from monuments, statues, and inscriptions throughout Egypt. They chiseled away her cartouches, scraped off her images, and attempted to write her out of history. One can only speculate about their motivations. Was it political expediency, a disdain for her unorthodox ascension, or a desire to restore the male lineage of pharaohs? For centuries, Hatshepsut was lost to history, her achievements forgotten. But the sands of time could not completely bury her legacy. In the 19th and 20th centuries, archaeologists began to uncover clues about this forgotten pharaoh. They found fragments of her statues, remnants of her inscriptions, and eventually, her tomb in the Valley of the Kings. The more they discovered, the more they realized the significance of her reign. Hatshepsut was not just Egypt's first female pharaoh, she was one of its most successful leaders. Her reign was a period of peace, prosperity, and architectural innovation. She commissioned magnificent temples such as the mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahri, which remains one of Egypt's most visited sites. Her expeditions to Punt brought wealth and exotic goods to Egypt, strengthening its economy. Despite attempts to erase her from history, Hatshepsut's legacy as Egypt's first female pharaoh lives on, a testament to her extraordinary rule. In a world dominated by men, she dared to defy conventions and proved that a woman could rule as effectively as any man. And for that, she will always have a place in history. Hatshepsut's life and reign were truly extraordinary, weren't they? We've journeyed through her unorthodox rise to power, witnessing her ascension from queen to pharaoh. We've reveled in the golden years of her reign, a period of prosperity, architectural grandeur, and peace. Yet we've also seen the challenges she faced, not only as a ruler but as a woman in a man's world. Her fortitude in the face of these challenges cemented her place in history. She wasn't just a footnote, but a powerful and influential pharaoh who was ahead of her time. Despite attempts to erase her from history, Hatshepsut's legacy endures, her monument standing as testament to her rule. Even in death, she continues to captivate us, her story echoing through the eons. Hatshepsut's story serves as a reminder that history is full of surprising and powerful women who defied norms and left their mark, even in the most unlikely of places.